Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Sunday, June 26th, 2022. As I come online tonight to make these updates, the markets initially were holding just slightly lower. Now they kind of kicked in a little bit harder and are dropping, continuing to what I believe will be a small fourth wave within an ongoing ABC up. Now, what I have done is that I've gone back and I have brought forward, I have the two counts. I've spoken several times. I have two counts. Both have an equal 50-50 probability of being the count that's in force. So they're running congruently and they're running that closely with just some small changes, but they can be significant if it turns into what is actually taking place. Now, that would be the case as how I'm counting now. So in this count again, we're in the larger decline, which continues to be in its beginning stages actually. And thus far, we have completed, again, I've gone back and on an intermediate degree, I've gone back to the other count, which is counting an intermediate 5-wave structure down. So intermediate 1 and 2 are complete. We remain within intermediate wave 3. Now it is possible on the weekly and then therefore on the daily to count as complete a minute level or at least 5 waves down. But as I have taken a look at it numerous times, that I feel that just was not enough to be an intermediate third wave. And actually in my mind, it wasn't even enough to be an intermediate C wave to complete, which would, in the other account that I run congruently with this one, the primary A wave. I believe that primary A wave is going to come in a lot deeper. I believe that the reaction to what is actually going on is going to get another kick very quickly here. And so what lends me to the count that I'm having at the moment is the fact that how they've come in, particularly Friday, and they just bought, and then in the last hour, they pushed very hard. There was a lot of money being tossed into the market. Now, whether that was all in preparation for contracts that were going to be settled on Saturday, so in essence, at the prices that were arrived at the close on Friday to settle out on Saturday, so money changes hand and all turns into cash, et cetera, et cetera. So not knowing that, but there was a lot of buy movement, a lot of pressure to buy it up on Friday for that expiration. So that it did exceed levels that I thought would hold, and it's actually kind of drifted back down to just below 3,900 just now, and now has recaptured that. On the daily, it's come back down and it's sitting right at the 20, and it may sit there all night. But the way that I'm reviewing this now is that this 5 waves down was likely minor wave 1, not all of intermediate wave 3, but the absolute first wave of intermediate wave 3. And what that suggests and fits with the overall larger picture is that still what's out there waiting to happen is a very large tip over and down move. And that will kick in, that will keep going, that will not stop, that will break below the current low at 36.39 and keep on going. I mean, keep on going. Or 3,500, yep, that level may still exist and we may take a pause there. But under this particular count, I don't see it. I don't see it holding. In fact, I would consider it to be a moot point when it comes to, it'll support itself. It will support the market at that point because it's a big round number and it is a fib number for a much larger structure. So I think we'll stop, but I don't think that's where it's going to end. I think we start coming down. If this is the count, we start to really break down. And what's going to fuel that? Well, you get to pick one. Again, I am choosing at this point that I really need to trade without bias to being bullish or bearish. I'm just going to trade the price action. But of course, the first question that we all want to have an answer to is like, what's going to cause that to drop? It's like, well, we've already seen what can cause the market to drop. So it would just be a re-engagement of what things we already know, but maybe just an update to tell us that, oh, they're not any better. In fact, they just continue to get worse. So in that being the case, then what then? Well, we drop. Or there could be another issue somewhere. Geopolitically, we have a lot going on. And so we have a lot going on in our own country. So there are a lot of things that could drive the market in either direction, none of which have been resolved. So as we do know, and it's true, markets hate uncertainty. And why? Because we, as the market participants, hate uncertainty. Do you want to hold the long? No. Do you want to hold the short? Not necessarily. So we move around, searching for value, searching for direction. So again, coming down, if we are in this particular count, I do believe we still have potential to go up. And this would be a minor second wave. Minor wave 2, we can put in, I think I did already, but it doesn't look like they're there. We would want to put in from there down to there and put in one more set of fibs. And these are just retracements for wave 2. And I'm going to have to take out one of these. But anyway, you have 3A2. So it's gotten up. For wave 2, it's gotten up to that 50% level. These are for this minor wave 2. I know it's a little confusing, but stay with me. So over here is what we're looking at in terms of retracement levels. So for a second wave, what are we most common? 50 to 62%. Well, there's the 50. We're there. We're touching it. We backed off. Now we come up in a fifth and likely get in between the two. So that would fit to a T, clean. So we still have upside potential for at least, I would say 39.50 to 39.90. They might make a run for the roses and try to get it up to 4,000 as just in being a part of an old security blanket. We loved 4,000. We're very comfortable with 4,000. If you're buying it, you're comfortable with it being above 4,000. Don't ask me why. I don't know. In any case, I believe that we have to allow for that potential. Downside, on the other hand, we should begin to continue to find support down here where we've already been at the 8, which is 38.96. Then we have the 20 at 38.69. That's not that bad. That's not all that tremendously damaging for a fourth wave. But if indeed the highs are in and this minor wave 2 is complete, and minor wave 3 is getting ready to begin, it would be a nice reversal, but there wouldn't be any kind of hanging out and just maybe seeing, okay, is anybody else going to join us? It's going to be, in my opinion, more event/news driven. Something will drive it. Something will happen to kind of kick it over a little bit. And if that's the case, then I would expect it's going to break the hourly 8. It's going to break the hourly 20. It's going to break the hourly 50. It's going to break the hourly 200. And it's just going to start to go. And ultimately head back down and below 36.39. Then we're out there looking. So I'm going to have to remove these so we don't get so clogged up. Right, here we are. That's the retracement. I'm going to remove those. Now we're back to the other. Go back out to the daily. As we start falling, I'm no longer looking for these levels. I'm now outside looking at these levels for a third wave. And that would suggest once I can get wave 2 in, I will put some extensions into place for the drop. Right now, though, again, we have that 3,500 level, as we've discussed before. It's still out there and applicable to the other account. And by the way, I will be putting out early this week, I promise, actually 2 for the ES and 2 for the NASDAQ big picture updates. I'm going to attempt to do them and put them a little bit more in subscription so I can kind of keep it a little bit more just for us, For those of us that are coming in here and we're doing this every day and you're following me every day, it would be more of a, let's keep you guys up to date. And so I'm gonna try it through a very small subscription, and we'll see how that goes. Or if you have some really strong opinions on it, please drop them in the comment section. I'd love to hear. In any case, for tomorrow, if we are going to drop, that 3,500 is definitely there because it's a big round number, because it has shown up and in a few places. But the power of this larger third wave would suggest we start breaking down likely below 3,000. And this would be over the short term. This would be like our next like drop out of the sky. We got quarter ending, then we've got second quarter earnings coming up, and that's a long list. And of course they're going to play and they're going to do this, but disappointments, my friends, I think goes. But right now I'd be looking for, even though it's the S&P, the focus to kind of remain on Apple, remain on Google, remain on Microsoft. Again, now we have this Friday, and guess what? That Friday's July 1st, then we have the July 4th weekend. So we have a week from tomorrow, we have another holiday. Hallelujah. So we do get some time off. So it could remain slow as well, folks, because kids are out of school. Everybody's going to take advantage of holidays swinging on two ends. So they took one, so they took last week, they're taking this week, and they won't come back until the 5th of July. Nice ability to get a full 2 weeks off. So maybe, I don't know, but it's just there. So I'm not looking for a lot, but I do think we continue to work higher. And again, then once we start to turn, it should be pretty obvious. That's my other thing. I think it should be pretty obvious. We will get notice. And again, we're following the price action. I'm not going to be questioning it's like, what's going to cause it, and be waiting for that reason. Because a lot of times the market will start and then suddenly you go like, oh, there it is. So watch the price action, watch how it's treating the moving averages, and we'll go from there. So we have our upside, we have our downside. I will be presenting 2 big picture updates, one from each of the counts that I'm using, one that would go into more detail onto why this is and how dangerous it can be, and what downside projections are for the whole A wave. For the whole A wave, where it could end up. And I'll give all the background on that. And then plus the other count, which would suggest that we're still in an intermediate C wave down. But what if that C wave, which can be, this is also minor wave 1 of intermediate wave C coming down. What are the implications there? Or is it still going to be a 5th wave down within this whole sequence called a C wave? Either or, I want to take a look at that, and that would come under the second big picture update. So using that and what its implications are and what we could be looking going forward. So look for those. Hopefully within the next day or 2, I'll get at least 2 of them done, and then 2 the following day. I hope. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, that's going to be it for right now. Continue to trade using your moving averages, using the Elliott, using the fibs. Follow the price action. Our next update will be on Monday, June 27th.